Okay, so we're reading now the Rambam, day 13, about the Mishnah, about the land of Israel, Ilchot Melachim, chapter 5, Mishnah 6. Mishnah 7 will start. It is permitted to dwell anywhere in the world. It's permitted. But with the exception of the land of Egypt. Egypt, you cannot because of the history. Its territory is like the rabbis of today say you shouldn't live in Germany. Its territory, actually, it's different because it says you should never return to Egypt in the Torah. It doesn't speak about Germany. But some apply that concept to places like Germany. Or the truth is, we have been, killed and pursued almost everywhere in the world. So, therefore, we shouldn't stay in most countries. We should go back to land. Its territory includes a square of 400 parsa by 400 parsa from the Mediterranean Sea, proceeding westward, bordering on the land of Kush, which is Africa, and the desert, which is the Sahara. It is forbidden to dwell in the entire territory, and in this entire territory. So, in 3 places, the Torah warned against returning to Egypt. God has told you, you must never again return on that path. It says also in another place, you shall not see it again. And number 3, you shall never see them again forever. Alexandria is included in this prohibition. Okay, so don't leave that. It is permitted to return to Egypt for the purpose of trade and commerce and to pass through while conquering other nations. The prohibition consists of settling there. So you can visit the pyramid if you want. Lashes are not given as punishment. Okay, so it appears to me that if a king of Israel would conquer the land of Egypt with the approval of the court, it would be permitted to settle there. The prohibition against returning was only given to individuals or to dwell there while it is under the rule of Gentiles, for their behavior is more depraved than of the peoples of other land. It says, do not follow the ways of Egypt. Okay. So, let's focus on Israel. It is forbidden to leave Eretz Israel. It's forbidden. That's halakha. For the diaspora, but why? It's forbidden to leave Eretz Israel for the diaspora, for the outside the land, at all times, except to study Torah, to marry, or to save one's property from the non-Jew, if they have property out there. So it says like that. For example, on a number of occasions, the Talmud grants leniencies because a person becomes overly agitated when his property is at stake. For example, because of this tendency, Shabbat 128 relaxes with certain facets of the prohibition against moving object from one domain to another to allow a person to save his property from fire. Based on the same principle, Avodah Zarah allows an individual to temporarily leave Eretz Israel to sue Gentiles or rescue one's property in other ways. Okay, so that's because there's a problem. To marry, that's obvious. We need to do that very important mitzvah. Marriage is one of the most important thing in the world. Most difficult too. And Torah is obviously, if one were looking for a rabbi, so it says like that. Permission is granted to leave Eretz Israel to study Torah because of its fundamental importance in Jewish life. One's entire Jewish practice depends on one's study. This license is even granted when there are qualified teachers in Eretz Israel, for each person's nature differs, and it is necessary to find a teacher with whom he feels comfortable. It says Avodah Zarah 13a. You need to connect to your teacher. So if the teacher is outside of the land of Israel, so you're allowed to go outside of the land of Israel based on that Gemara of Zarah 13a. Also, many authorities grant license to leave Eretz Israel for the purpose of teaching others Torah. Sidur Yavetz. Okay, so that's a special leniency. And then marriage endorses a person with stability and personal equilibrium. Now, the Shialtot de Rabbeinu Achai Gaon maintain that Torah study and marriage are only mentioned as example, and a person may leave Eretz Yisrael in order to perform other mitzvahs as well. However, this view is not accepted by most commentaries. They maintain that leniency was granted in these two instances alone because of the paramount importance. So it's something crucial. Without Torah, without a wife, you have you're not even a human being, right? You need a wife and you need Torah, and that's the most important thing. And having Eretz Yisrael but no Torah and no wife, it's almost the same. That's one not having the other. So we need both, and it's okay to go out for the purpose of eventually returning, but with the intention to returning. After accomplishing these objectives, one must return to Eretz Israel. Wow, I find my wife. Okay, come with me to Israel. Oh, I find my Rebbe. I learn. Okay, I got strong enough to learn on my own and to grow. I go to the land of Israel. Let's remember that a lot of rabbis are not following, unfortunately, this mitzvah, and therefore they're staying outside the land of Israel, and that's going to be a problem. Not every rabbi is super righteous in every way, and everybody has his own flaws. So even if one's rabbi is still outside the land, doesn't mean that one should stay outside the land, especially today more than ever before. However, it is forbidden to live with the intent of settling permanently in the diaspora unless the famine in Eretz Yisrael is to serve that a dinar's worth of wheat is sold at 2 denarim. So only you can settle somewhere else only if it is a famine that is crazy extreme, just like what happened with Abraham. When do these conditions apply? When one possesses financial resources and food is expensive. However, if food is inexpensive but a person cannot find financial resources or employment and has no money available, he may leave and go to any place where he can find relief. So we need to survive, of course. So that's why a lot of people rely on going to outside of Israel to be able to survive. But if someone is already poor or not rich outside the land, then why not be in the land? It makes better to be poor in Israel than to be poor outside the land. Though it is permitted to live Eretz Israel under these circumstances, it is not pious behavior. Ena midat chasidut. You could do, yeah, but that's not righteous. Behold, it's righteous. Chassidus is when you have true love for Hashem, a true strong desire to be connected all the time. So it's a level, it's a madriga. We're not all on that madriga, but we're not going to wait our whole life. Behold, Machlon and Kilion were two of the great men of the generation, and they left Eretz Israel only out of great distress. Nevertheless, they were found worthy of death by God. So let's not take it lightly, right? We should technically be in Israel, all of us, and we have to ask ourselves, why am I still outside the land? Great sages will kiss the border of Eretz Israel, kiss its stones and roll in the dust. So now you know where it comes when people go out of the airplane and they kiss the floor. That's great sages used to do that out of love for a place. It's in the Talmud, Ketubot 112a. Acre is on the northern border of Israel. Before he left the land or when he entered, Rav Abba would kiss its stones as a sign of endearment. It's like you kiss a book out of sign of endearment. The Talmud continues relating that Rabbi Yachanina would lift up its stones. Rashi explains that he will remove obstacles from the streets of that city so that people coming to Eretz Israel will not receive a bad impression. So that's how dear it was to these people. Yes. It's right. It's another place that speaks about someone kissing the stones of Eretz Israel. So, again, there's a lot of great thing. Behold, your servants hold her stones dear and cherish her dust. The sages commented, whoever dwells in Eretz Israel will have his sins forgiven, as it states in Yeshayahu 33:24. The inhabitant shall not say, I am sick. The people who dwell there shall be forgiven their sins. Even one who walks 4 cubits there will merit the world to come, and one who is buried there receives atonement, as if the place in which he is buried is an altar of atonement. As it states in Dvarim 32:43, his land will atone for his people. In contrast, the prophet Amos used the expression, you shall die in an impure land, as in the prophecy of retribution. So it has a tremendous power to live there and be buried there and to walk there. There is no comparison between the merit of a person who lives in Eretz Israel and ultimately is buried there and one whose body is brought there after his death. There's no comparison. There is nevertheless, great sages will bring the dead there. Take an example from our patriarch Yaakov and Yosef the righteous. And to finish, at all times, a person should dwell in Eretz Israel, even in a city whose population is primarily Gentile, rather than dwell in a diaspora, even in a city whose population is primarily Jewish. We know that from the Gemara, Ketuvot 110b. This applies because whoever leaves Eretz Israel for the diaspora is considered as if he worships idols. As it says, they have driven me out today from dwelling in the heritage of God, saying, go serve other gods. Similarly, Yechezkel's retribution states, they shall not come to the land of Israel. Just as it is forbidden to leave the chosen land for the diaspora, it is also forbidden to leave Babylon for other lands. As it says, they shall be brought to Babylon, and there they shall be until I take heed of them and restore them to its place. The source for this law on not leaving Babel is in Ketubot 111a. Rashi, in his commentary on that passage, explained that one who is prohibited from leaving Babylon because it is a place of Torah and yeshivot are located there, as opposed to the other place in diaspora. By quoting the above verse as a source, the Rambam implies that the Jews should remain in Babylon, for that is the place God chose for them to be exiled until he takes heed of them. He restores them to Eretz Israel. Hence, just as there is a provision to leave Eretz Israel because it is God's chosen land, similarly there is a provision to leave Babylon, for that land was chosen for the Jews while in exile. So that was at the time. Again, I put a post on my discussing that thing on my wall if you want to double check, but on my Facebook wall. But this, let's say, it applies not in our generation. In our generation, it's clear if we're not planning to go back to Israel, or yes, I'm married here, there's a problem. What do you mean you're not planning to go to Eretz Israel? Or you're planning to live as to be like a guy, meaning not being part of the Jewish people. Only those who have a special mission here to bring those people to Israel, or to inspire them and have them come close to God and save them from being outside the land, are allowed to go out. And again, and for the same reason that the Rambam says, a wife, a Rebbe, but you have to be careful which Rebbe. It has to be a Rebbe that understands the laws of living in Eretz Israel. So it's important, and we need to think of it every day. Why am I not in Israel? What do you say every day about Israel? What is the sign? If you have a house, there's a mitzvah to let, if you build a house, part of your home empty, not painted. if it happens that the house is already made, you didn't build it yourself, then you can put a sign, something. So you need to have an image Kachir Yerushalayim on the wall, paintings of Jerusalem. Create the environment of the that reminds you of the desire of the beauty of the land. It has to ache you. It has to bother you. Why I'm not in Eretz Israel? Every day has to be. I wish today I was in Israel. I wish today I was in Eretz Israel. I wish I was in Eretz Israel. I wish I could go to Jerusalem. Every day. Monsey, Lakewood, whatever places that exist in the world are nothing to compare to Israel, Chas v'shalom, and therefore we should really make it part of our true desire. Baruch Adonai L'olam. Amen. Amen. See you in Israel.